Time to make a connection. Yeah, alright. Time to make a connection. To be where we wanna be, we need to come together. Drop in some knowledge, bring the people together. Time to make a connection. Yeah, alright. Time to make a connection.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Making Connections. This is your girl, Aly. I hope everybody is having an amazing day. It's beautiful out today. So I hope you woke up and you're excited about life and, whatever went wrong yesterday, it's okay because it's in the past, right? And so we know that every day his mercies are new. You guys know we're here every Saturday at 12 noon and every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm excited. We're going to go ahead and jump into this. We are talking about love and relationships, and we have with us Mr. David and Miss Janet Marie Hefney. How are you guys today?
Great.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Good, good. Well, thank you for being with the Making Connections family today. I know, Janet, this is not your first time, but it's been a while. So, what I'm going to do is have each one of you just introduce yourself, tell a little bit about yourself before we get into the interview, okay?
Okay,
And
perfect.
so, Miss Janet, we'll start with you.
Okay, actually, I am Janet Marie, and I am a real estate coach as well. I just doing many different things, wearing many different hats. I really am. I'm wearing so many hats. I just wrote a book, and that will be released here in the next few weeks. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Absolutely. I'm excited too. Yeah, that book is going to be good. So,
Yeah.
wait for the release. And Mr. David, welcome to the Making Connections family.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You should let me went first on that. She wears so many hats. But anyway, I'm David Hefney. I'm retired. And I spent a lot of time doing work with my grandson and the family, um, and serving my wife, giving her all her needs, what she needs. And I'm available for her each and every day, all day. And that's my life.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Jonathan's here, and I think he said Black Love. Hashtag Black Love. Yeah, so let's just jump into it because Janet, you and I already had like a little conversation. And I was like, wait, I gotta save all this for the interview, and so I'm excited. And we February, they call it the Love Month. It's also Heart Health Month, but it's also Black History Month. And so,
Hmm.
as we talk about even this love and relationships, I'm gonna kind of equate it to, like Jonathan said, Black love. Because you know I just want to talk about, the Black family, the Black structure. And so I know you guys have been married how long, Janet?
Oh goodness, we've been married 21 years, but we've been together almost 27 now total. Like so, but if you ask David, he'll just say 27 years that we've been married. So yeah.
Love it. I love it.
You know?
Awesome. And what did you say, Mr. David?
I said we got all the rocks and crumbles out the first six, so it's been 27.
I hear you because that's when you started, right?
Yeah, that's when it all started.
All right. So, Mr. David, how did you manage to stay together 27 years? Because, like you said, I heard you say you got the crumbles and all that stuff out. How did you stick and stay?
That's been actually that's been easiest part. Uh, um, when we since we've been married legally, that's been the easiest part because we got through a lot of things before we got to that point. But there's been some trials and tribulations since we've been married, and we talk about it sometimes. It's never was a question about our love for one another. It was issues in other ways, and so our love has always been strong for one another. So we had to just come together and solve the problem with the other issues in the relationship.
Gotcha. And Janet, when we were talking the other day, just the fact that I was like, here in 2022, one of the big questions people ask, is love really worth it? Is it really worth pursuing a relationship? Or, what would you say to somebody ask that question?
Absolutely. Yeah. Love is a good feeling. When you find love with someone else, it's really it's really a good feeling. It feels good to know that you have someone that loves you just as much as you love them. So when I think about my husband, I know that he loves me just as much as I love him, and that makes me feel good. There's no question, like he said earlier, like our love was never an issue for one another. We always knew that, and it was a healthy love. However, like David mentioned, we had other issues, like within our marriage that we had to learn and figure out how to deal with them. But love is it's worth it. It is.
Awesome. Because, we see so many divorces these days. And then, of course, we're always, starstruck with Hollywood and everybody's, they're married to this one and get married to that one. And, and I think that's not real life. I don't think that that happens, in real life with the average person on to that magnitude. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But at the same time, you know, um, just like we were talking before, sometimes you feel like, well, this keeps happening to me. I keep putting myself out there, but why do I never get to that stage of being married, of being together for these years? It never happens for me. So, if you were, you guys were counseling a young couple or, people thinking about getting married and they said that to you, what would be one of the questions you would ask them?
Uh, I think the main thing is being true to yourself.
Hmm.
If you're not true to yourself, you're not going to be any good for your wife or
Hmm.
uh, that would be the main thing. Being true to yourself. Learn to accept that you're not perfect. She's not perfect. You don't live in a perfect world.
Hmm.
And I think that where a lot of young people put the pressure on themselves, trying to make everything perfect, trying to be like this Hollywood star, this Hollywood star. Uh, it's not, it won't work that way. So you have to be true to yourself. Embrace what you have. Uh, Embrace the love that the your partner is giving you and what you're giving to her. And you can feed on both of that. I think it can take you a long, long way. Other things will come when you're truly in love. Other things will come. You're gonna go through some difficult time, but it'll be all worth it. That love will keep you
Hmm.
glued together, so you can get through the hard times.
The hard times makes your love even stronger. David really hit on that when he said it. You know what? I kid you not. This is the honest truth. This is the honest truth. We complete one another's sentences all the
Really?
time. Yeah. So when you just asked that question, what he just said is what I was thinking. Because for me, when I think back to, right before we got married, when he asked me to marry him, what I realized the key thing was I was in a place where I was getting to know myself. I was starting to love myself, like truly love myself. in the beginning of our relationship, there was no balance. It was just trying to please him and, everyone else. And I didn't really connect with myself. But once I was able to truly make a connection with myself and really started loving myself, all the issues that we were having dating, it's like, I don't know, they just went away. They totally just went away. And then I noticed a shift in him, and it really just changed. But it all has to do with you and not the other person. If you're doing it for the other person and everyone else, you are fighting, you're stepping into a battle zone, and it's going to be a tough battle zone. So you have to, first you got to love yourself. And when you meet that person, I don't know, it's just like a magnet. Like, I don't know, it's just, yeah, it's kind of like what happened with us just dating. It once I connected with me, our relationship just changed totally.
And that's something that I think that's so important, because I think a lot of times, probably when you meet people, you're being your genuine self, because you sometimes you're not expecting to meet somebody. And so we forget that they were attracted to that genuine person. But then sometimes it seems like when you get in that relationship, you're trying to keep that person, or you see somebody else looking at that person, or you see them looking at something that they like. You try to mimic something that you think they like, but that's not you. And so you lose your voice, and you lose, like you were saying, who you are. You don't stay true to, who you are, your values, whether it's the way you dress, what you like to do, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people, and why do you think sometimes once we get in a relationship, we do that? We're trying to please so much, but in the same time, we're losing so much. Does that make sense?
It does. um did you want to speak, or you want me
I love the way y'all let me.
to? Um when you first get into, I think what happens is it's easy to lose yourself because society or you were taught that a marriage is supposed to be a certain way. But then on the outside too, you're seeing so many people being a certain way. So it's easy to lose yourself because you enter into an area in your life that you're not accustomed to. And you're trying to please that person, or they're trying to please you. You start changing things about yourself, or you're thinking that you're supposed to be a certain way. Because for me, when David and I got married, my whole thought was, I'm a wife, and so I have all these responsibilities now. Before I was a single mom, and I had the responsibilities of a single mom, but my role shifted in many ways. Like, not only did I become a wife, I became a stepmom. I entered into his world, as well as he entered into my world. So that was like the dynamic. So then you struggle with how to balance all of that. You really don't have the blueprint to tell you how to balance all that. So when David talked about, we before we got married, we got rid of a lot of baggage, like real baggage. We got rid of a lot of that. Like, that baggage did not enter into our marriage, but we became a blended family, had a new marriage. So how do you handle all of that? We didn't know. Honestly, we didn't know. So that's where all the issues would come in. Like David said, it wasn't our love for one another. It was all the other stuff, trying to figure that out. And how like how you used to live when you were alone in your home. I was a single mom. I had my son. We lived a certain way. He was, a single father in his home. He lived a certain way. So we had to mesh all of that. And it takes time.
And like she was saying, like the blueprint, there's no blueprint. There's no way. What I'm like, she might have picked up something from her parents, or either I pick up something from my parents. Like, man, it's supposed to go this way. It's supposed to do this. It's supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Once you start entering in all that, it can go. It can blow up in your face. Also, so you have to navigate your way through it. You have to make your ears available for her, and she had to make her ears available for me. I remember when we first got married, I was a little stubborn on a few things, but she kind of, and she told me later on, when we was having a conversation one day, I had to figure when to approach you on certain issues. Well, I never did think about it. But then, she said, I wait till the right time to approach you, because of how you feeling, and we can resolve those issues a lot better than having each other neck,
Right.
Just approaching someone at the wrong time. You just have to be, I think the main thing, just being true to yourself, being available for one another. And the main thing is listening, and it's hard. It's hard when you live in a certain life, and then all of a sudden this other brand new life come in, and it could be a mess. But it go back to true love. Do you really want this? Yes, I do. So
Yeah.
I think it was Sharika. I don't have my glasses, y'all, but I think she said that was a pretty powerful statement. You have to make your ears available for one another.
Yeah. Yeah. I say, just to kind of piggyback off David, he just reminded me of that. I do remember. I did this video a couple of years ago or so, right? And I let him listen to the video. In the video, I talked about our marriage. And I talked about how I coached my husband without him even knowing it. And I coached him. I used to I was like, I would pray about it and say, okay, he's so stubborn. He's so in his ways. And, we got through the worst part, like, we talked about before marriage. We really did get through the worst part. So we knew that we were really, truly in love with one another. And I know, I knew that I didn't want to live my life without him. And I knew he felt the same way about me. But we were having these problems. And I was thinking, how do I get to him? So I'll never forget. I used to, I started studying him and thinking just his body language to see when he was mostly calm. And I realized that the calmest, when he was the most calmest, is when we would go to bed at night. He would calm all the way down. And then, oh my gosh, I would plan this for days or weeks or months. Kid you not, I would plan it. And I would wait for that right moment. And I would say in a calm, passionate way, because I didn't want him to feel as if I was attacking him. So I would say, I want us to have a conversation. It's something that we really need to talk about. And I would just go to him being really humble. And first I would share how much I love him and I want our relationship to work and I want it to be better. I want it to blossom. But we do have things that we need to work out. And I mean, and we would talk about, he would be calm. And I'll be like, okay, I got his attention. Okay, this is good. So then we would have the conversation about it. We would talk about it. So yeah, so we would actually talk about it. And then it became other times I would realize that I would love a drive. Like a drive was a moment where we were both in a car and, and I would have his attention and we would talk about whatever it was. So I look forward to those moments because it was moments for us to talk and get whatever it was to get it out. So, and it felt good. It relieved me, it relieved him. our marriage just started growing, and it just started really growing.
Hmm. Yeah.
I love what you're saying though. I mean, because you took the time, a lot of times, like you said, you're in the heat of the moment, you're like, I'm gonna tell this person, da 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 da. And in that moment, and especially like they just coming in the room and all of a sudden you attacking them and they're like, don't even really know what you're talking about really. And so then, like you said, they feel attacked. And so I think what you're saying is so important because you started learning each other. You started learning when's the best time to talk about different things. Maybe in the bedroom you could talk about certain things, but then on the drive, you knew you could go into certain other details or
Mhm.
so I think that's so important because really it is like you guys, both of you are saying it's a union of two different people from two different worlds, two
Yeah.
different family structures, and you're coming together as
Mhm.
one. And so even if you take some, tidbits from your family and him from his family, you have to make it your own, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that worked with mom and dad, but that's really not going to work with us because, our schedule might be different. Our, thought pattern might be different.
Hmm.
So you have to tweak it for yourselves, but you have to, what I keep, you had to put in the work, right?
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
Yeah.
had to take the time to study one another, to learn one another.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And the rides always been calm for both of us. Even when we was dating,
Yeah.
I think that's how she got more attracted to me
Mhm.
when I used to take her for rides, and I always used to let her ride up under me, like back in
Right.
the day. And,
Hmm.
and we was always used to talk and just ride,
Yeah.
talk and just ride. So riding, putting a person in the vehicle with you calmly,
He's charming.
and
That's what hooked me first.
yeah,
He's charming.
and just talking, and you know, get ice cream
Yeah.
sometime, and we just ride.
Yeah.
And we still do that. We still
The
ride.
little things. Yep. Those were special moments. And they still are. We still do those things.
Yeah, just the little
Um,
things.
yeah.
Just the little things
Yeah.
that
But
was so.
I think sometimes it's those little things. And like you
Yeah.
said, because sometimes, you're so mad at somebody and you don't want to talk. Like now this is not like a relationship I have, but just friendships. And I mean these principles can really apply, on your job, with your siblings or what have you. You still have to learn who they are. You have to learn how, because everybody has love languages. Everybody, people like to be spoken to in different ways. So I think with every relationship, you have to learn the people you're around, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so
Oh
true.
yeah. I'll say one thing that we did do. We made an agreement about when we first got married. If there was anything that made either one of us feel uncomfortable with, we made an agreement that we would not do it. Whatever it was, we made an agreement that we would not do it. We would not do anything to hurt one another. Um, because what I realized in a marriage, um, you don't know there are triggers like, and I
Mm,
don't know, I don't know all his triggers, so I realized that um there were certain things that I would do or he would do, and it would trigger us, and we would bring it to one another's attention. And of course it definitely wouldn't be our intention to do it, because you don't want to hurt, you know the person that you're in love with. You don't want to hurt them. And so yeah, I just remember that was just something. And it honestly, that first part is when I said that we made an agreement that we wouldn't do anything to go against one another as far as hurt. If it was something that I was going to do and I could feel his energy, I could feel that it didn't sit right with him, and I would say, I would wait for that moment, and I would question him about it. And he would not say, you can be honest with me. Tell me how you really feel. And he would
mm,
say, no, what I really don't like that, or da 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 da. But I can also say there have been moments when I would notice that he would get upset his energy level would shift. And it may happen maybe once, twice, 3 times a year, or every other year, or whatever.
Right.
And I noticed that, oh, what's going on? And one day a ride, I remember this ride. We were on 485. I don't know if you remember this. And I said, there's something, I don't know. It's like we could be just having a great conversation. And if I say a certain thing or certain whatever, you get so upset with me. And this has been happening for a long time. And I've shared that how I feel when you do it. But in that moment, he said he thought about it. He was real calm. Again, we was on a ride. It was that safe space, right? And
Right.
he said, yeah. And it was something that led him back to his childhood. You remember that? And I mean, we don't have to get into it, but my whole point of saying that is, for anyone that's watching, sometimes your intentions of things that you say is not to hurt that person, but you need to know one another's triggers, and you need to talk to one another about those triggers, because that is very, very important. And it explained a lot. It explained a lot. It really did.
And I think it's interesting, even though, like you said, you had kind of expressed it before, but after he took that moment to think about, because he, like you said, even he evidently didn't realize that he was being triggered. It was
No.
happening, but he didn't realize what it was at that time.
Yeah.
And so, as it went on and as he, started thinking about it and, wanting to make sure he didn't hurt you, things started coming up. And I think that is so true for all of us. We have so much stuff that we've been through, when we're younger. I mean, it could be cousins or something picking on us, or something that happened in school where we got embarrassed or what have you.
Mhm.
And I mean, those triggers, they happen,
Yeah.
and so, for us, it's good to learn our partner's triggers and ours so that we can express ours to our partner, right?
Mhm.
And so, Mr. David, even when that happened, how did you feel about that? Once you figured out, oh, this is taking me back there. How did you,
It
you know,
was it was a relief. Uh,
Mm.
it was a relief. Sometimes we can carry things. This can be a fault too. Sometimes we can carry things, hold it in because we don't want to hurt the person that delivering it to you.
mm,
Although you might not like it, uh, you still might like kind of go along with it,
mm-hmm,
and but that just knowing your other half, uh, where the other half feel you, that's just the connection you have. Once she feel you, and that other half say, well, that's not right with him, and she bring it to you, and that's when the things get better. But it was a relief, and I know I've done some stuff that trigger her. Then we have to talk about it later, but it's growing. Uh, that's all it is. It's just growing, learning each other more. Because after 26, 27 years we've been together, we still don't know each other 100%. She
Yeah.
still do some things I might not like, and I do some things she might not like, but we address it more easily now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
right,
different.
right.
More easily now. So
And one of the viewers, Miss Stevens, I believe it is, she's like, again, like we were saying, knowing each other's triggers and talking to one another, with one another, and not at one another,
yeah,
Mhm.
because
yeah,
sometimes you can just be saying something and you really don't want them to reply. You just want to know how you feel. But that's
mhm,
not fair, because then
mhm,
you're not getting down to the root of really what happened and how can we change this. So
yeah,
that communication, whatever you guys keep saying, hey, we talked about this, we agreed on this, we had to go back to this, we took a ride on, it's constant communication.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because I mean, and even when people talk about after people have babies for the first time, your relationship shifts because now you have a new person that you're trying to take care of. Now you don't know the blueprint for how to do that either. So,
Mhm, mhm.
there's always shifts, I think, in every relationship. And
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
you have to be able to shift with that and, be able to, go learn what we need to do in this step. Don't you think, Mr. David?
Yeah, it's whew. Yes, you absolutely correct. And my wife, she taught me how to well, she had shown me how to express myself a lot better instead of keeping a lot of stuff closed in. I still have a little bit of stubbornness in me, but she don't clear most of it up. Even when I might be talking to one of our kids, one of the grandkids, she would be like, after the conversation, David, can I speak to you for a minute? Yeah, you can talk to me. Um, I think you were a little too harsh. What are you talking about? And then she explained to me, and then I say, yeah, you're right. Then I go back and correct it with the kid, the grandkid. So,
Cool. I
you know,
love it.
because
Because
everybody have a trigger.
Yeah.
Everybody take things differently. I can
mm-hmm.
talk to you one way, but I can't speak to the other one that same way because they don't have they different. So
Right. Like
yeah,
you're saying, even with your kids, you
so she
still
had
have
made
to
me
talk.
understand that a lot more, even
Mhm.
dealing with grandkids, even dealing with kids, and they all adults, but she still have kind of coached me on that a lot, you know. So that's been great.
Awesome. And yeah, like you were saying, even your children, you can't, you have like the same requirements for them, but
Yeah.
sometimes you have to go use a different process to get what you get, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Because we always put a cake and we put a pie in the oven, but we don't always put the same ingredients. We don't
Yes,
always
and
go
it's
the
not
same.
going to ever taste the same as the last one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
Jonathan said something about how do you apply the 5A. That's not the one. It was above that. But how do you, oh yeah, how have you applied the 5A formula to reclaim your life?
My book. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Jonathan. Um, you know what? The 5 A's acknowledge. I had to acknowledge that, you know, what was and what wasn't in my marriage, the truth about my marriage, the truth about myself. Um, and I realized that I had to be completely open with myself. I had to be completely honest with myself, um, and admit all of it, whatever it was. And that's what I talked about in the beginning, as far as you have to know yourself first. And truly, in any relationship, if you're not happy with yourself first, if you don't feel good about who you are, if you don't know who you are, then your relationship is going to be in shambles. Your marriage is going to be in shambles.
Mhm.
And I think I had to actually completely humble myself to say that in order for my marriage, for our marriage to be what I desired, that one of us had to do the work, but one of us had to start to do the work and bring the other one on board. And I
Right.
realized that person was me. I realized that early on, but I had to figure out how to do it. I had to
Mhm.
figure out how to do it. That's when I talk about, I waited for those safe moments to speak to my husband. Um, then I had to, when he talked about, I admit the arm, I had to figure out, okay, how am I going to arm myself with this? What am I going to do? And that was those car rides, and being trapped in the car with him. But we love rides, we love the trees, we loved all of that. So it filled us up because the ride, we love rides and it made us feel good. So it was the perfect moment to have a conversation. but I had to be strategic. And I know that I did. I had to be strategic in how am I going to approach my husband? So I had to change me first. I had to change me first. I had to change me first before he would make his changes.
Hmm. That's important, you know. And I think a lot of times, I think sometimes, I won't say everybody, but I think sometimes in relationships, you're always trying to change that other person.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna tell him, and he needs to take the trash out at this time, and he needs to make sure the bill, you know, or she needs to, you know, fix her hair before church. Da da da. You know, we're always trying to say what the other person needs to
Yeah.
do,
Mhm.
and sometimes you just have to be an example of what to do, right? Because we always say somebody's
Absolutely.
watching you, just like your children are watching you. And so, what kind of example do you want to be, right?
You're absolutely right, Allie. That is spot on. It is truly spot on because I wasn't gonna be, he wasn't just gonna change. I'm like, he was stubborn. He was not gonna just change. I had to make the change. I really did. And just those little talks, they went really far. And I just started noticing a difference with him and just in the way that you communicate. Like, even if one of you are loud, the other one can't be loud. Like, you
Right.
can't do tit for tat. You just can't do that because it's gonna be a disaster. It's gonna be a disaster. So
Right.
yeah.
I love it. I love it. This is so good.
It is.
And you know, so let's even just, you know, throw in Valentine's Day. What kind of stuff do you guys do for Valentine's Day? You've been together for 27 years.
Uh,
Is it just like another
it's
day
like
or
another day. We don't do anything like special like that. It's like another day. I always buy flowers. Always buy flowers. Um,
He does.
and so it's like another day for us. But we're not big on certain holidays like that because it just, I think love should flow naturally. I don't think that my wife should have to wait 6 months or 3 months or 2 months just to get roses or flowers. I think she deserves them all the time. So I normally just get them all the time for her,
He
you know.
does. But he does make those days special.
But I
So
make
look,
it those days
he
special.
does.
I
He
don't
really
forget, but she forgets
I
sometimes.
forget all the time.
Oh,
Not all
babe,
the
I'm
time.
terrible. I'm terrible. That's
Not all the
okay, baby.
time.
That's
Not
okay.
all the time. But I do forget. I'm not like him. I said earlier he's really charming, right? That hooked me, right? So, but
I remember them. I remember
he
them.
does, and he buy me flowers all the time. I get flowers at least once a month, or sometimes more than that. In the summertime, every other week. But he does make those days special. He knows how, and he gets me every year, whatever holiday it is. He gets me all the time. It
Yeah.
just be little special things that he does. So
Mhm.
I love it too. I do.
and Jonathan agree with you. You said, you know, Valentine's Day is every day when you're with the one you love, you know.
Yeah, that's so right. That's so right.
Yeah.
So I have my Valentine every day.
And you know, that's a good point because I think a lot of times people try to just make that one day so extravagant and
Yeah.
it stresses you out because you're like, okay, what do
Mhm.
they like? What do they not like? They liked this
Mhm.
last year, they
Yeah.
didn't like. And I think you just put so much stress and on yourself. Just enjoy one another's company.
Yeah.
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 But you know what? Seriously, I cook every Valentine's Day.
Mhm.
I cook, like, we have something special or whatever every Valentine's Day. And we do candles at the table. And
Mhm.
we've been doing that the whole time we've been
Yeah.
married.
Yeah.
Really, have we? Yeah.
Yeah.
Every year. So I do that. So see, I do. I do.
Mhm.
See, you show up. There you go,
I
girl.
show up.
Yeah.
I show up in many ways.
Yeah. You show up. You show up.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So, Mr. David, you know, for the women out there who are thinking about, okay, what do men like? What do men like? Like for
Man,
gifts or
man, speaking for myself, what I like most and what I love most is knowing that my wife loved me.
mm,
That take care of everything. We at the point now that you my husband, you my wife, we love each other. So nothing really special. but she do a lot of little special things, small things. I'm
Right.
not. I don't require a whole lot, but she take care of me for his little things like, for example, like socks, t-shirts. She just do all those things for me. And but if I want something nice like a suit or something like that, I take her with me, and then we'll pick it out together. But she don't have to go out and buy me a diamond bracelet or nothing like that. Just knowing that she loved me and knowing that I have somebody to stand side by side with, somebody to have my back, waking up every morning to that, that's all I need. But
All
I can
right.
get through. I can get through anything else, knowing I have. Because for example, the other day I woke up and I said, "Oh, I didn't sleep well." And she said, "What's wrong, baby?" She said, "What's wrong?" I said, "I was a little stressed." "What you stressed about?" So I told her I was a little stressed about, but I said, "But when you woke up, I looked at you and you was in there doing your thing on the phone, whatever, blah blah blah." I said, "Shoot, she don't have no stress. Ain't no point in me stress, about this issue." And it's
Right.
resolved itself.
It did.
So there you go.
Wow. That's cool. I like that. When you're not stressed about, because sometimes, even with life situations, right? You get so stressed out, you're trying to figure it out, you're trying to make
Yeah,
ends meet, and you just so stressed out that you really don't take the time to just sit down and be at peace,
yeah,
Yeah.
pray about it, you
yeah,
know, figure out what your options are because you're just so worried. And
yeah. I,
so,
yeah. I asked her. I said, "You not stressed?" "No, I'm not stressed. It's gonna be okay." Blah blah blah. And sure it was. So it relaxes me. So
but I want to reiterate to the ladies. Now, if you want to know what kind of gift your man, your boo, your husband likes, they just want to know that you're there for them. They
Yeah.
want to know that you support them. They want to know that you love them unconditional. That
yeah,
even through their faults, if they make a mistake, you're still gonna be there with them.
yeah. Cause
So,
those material things, they just gonna last. Roses just gonna last a week, 2 weeks the most.
right,
Uh, they just don't last long. But true love,
jewelry
wanting
breaks.
somebody to have your back, it lasts a lifetime.
Oh, we
Mm,
could end right there, Mr. David. You said it. That's it.
no,
But I mean, it does. Jewelry breaks. Like you said, the roses
yeah.
die.
Mm,
Your dinner. I mean, it's done. Once you eaten it, that's it.
mhm,
But those moments and those memories that you build together, yeah, that's precious.
yeah.
I love it. And so, Janet, tell us a little bit more about your book that you got coming out.
Oh, goodness. Yes, I'm so excited. The 5A formula to reclaim your life. I actually talk about my life in the book. And what I realized is that I would get so many people to say, "What I actually had a breakdown at one point in my life. And this breakdown was really before I got married. And that's when I talk about how I made that transition into getting to know myself. And I felt good afterwards. And not only did I feel good, but people noticed the difference in me. Like David, like he made a transition, seeing my transition. And so um I just wanted to share that. I realized I carried that throughout my life because again, when we got married, life happened. So things changed in my life. So I had a new set of battle zones and marriage, blended families, trying to stay true to myself of who I am as a person and having my struggles with that because now I'm rethinking things of who I should be and how I should be because I'm wearing all these different hats. And
Mm,
so I came through all of that and I decided that I wanted to put it into a book. I wanted to share. It was a formula. It is truly, I realized that just like everything else, whether you're running a business or you're an athlete or whatever it is whatever it is that you're doing, there's a formula to everything that you do. Even for your own life, there's a formula to it. And I took a deep dive into my life and a deep dive into myself. And I discovered things about myself that I didn't even realize that exist. But once I discovered the one very thing that bothered me the most, everything else continued to come. And I began to connect with myself on a deeper level. And I came out just, being happy with myself, being happy with me first, like truly. I reconnected with myself and I became really happy with myself, which has really, it's changed my life. It's changed our life.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the 5 A's, baby?
I love the 5 A's. I love it. I've been listening to the 5 A's for about a year now, right?
Couple of years.
Couple of years now. So I know them. I love them. I listened to do it one show one day, and it was just, I came jumped in here right after the show, and we discussed it. But I love the 5 A's. It's good for your soul. For you to move forward, you got to have the 5 A's in your life. Just for you to move forward, for your marriage to move forward, for you to move forward individually, which is the most important thing, moving forward individually.
Right.
It helps out a lot. And if you get that done, your marriage should be a lot easier. Everything surrounding you that's been holding you back, you being stuck, you can release it and you can enjoy life a lot better.
Yeah. The 5 A's got me unstuck, which helped him to become unstuck.
Yeah.
All of that, what I'm saying, that's a part of the 5. Everything that we're talking about, those are the 5 A's. Those are the 5 A's. And
so when does your book come out?
March 10th.
Yeah.
We have a date for March 10th.
Okay.
So I am truly excited about that. And yeah.
Will it be available on Amazon or
Amazon? Is going to be available on Amazon. So I'm going to be releasing it, and it will be available on Amazon. And you can also check me out on alljanetmarie.com, www.alljanetmarie.com.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'm really excited to help so many people, because it helps people with depression, just feeling uneasy about whatever it is that you feel uneasy about. The 5A formula is a guide for your life.
Awesome. I love it. And like you said, I think a lot of times, because again, everything we go through, even if you're starting a business, if you're, starting a relationship, there is no blueprint, So this book will have some techniques and some ideas that can help you, to create that blueprint for what you need it for. Whether, like I said, it's business, whether relationships are relationships, whether they're love relationships, working relationships, church, siblings, everything, still the basis of it and the denominator of it is you, because you're involved in all of those.
Correct.
And so when you get comfortable with who you are, and it takes work. It's a process. Yeah. Again, because of things that have happened to you in the past, and you think you're over it. You think, well, I'll never see them, but then you see them and something inside you either boils up or something.
A trigger.
It's a trigger. So there's still things that you have to deal with, And so, and sometimes we just try to be nice. Oh, well, that's okay. But it wasn't okay.
Yeah.
True.
Aly, a lot of times we as people, whatever life challenges we have, believe it or not, it has nothing to do with other people. You can be dealing with the most miserable person who brings chaos. And once you have yourself together deep down inside, you don't even see their misery. Their misery don't even hurt you, bother you, nothing. You know how to deal with it. And that's who I have become. Don't even bother me. Like, so that's the 5A formula. So,
Awesome. And see, even if you're an entrepreneur, when somebody tells you no, they don't want your product, they don't want your service, it won't bother you because you still know that your product or your service is worth having.
yep,
They just don't see the value in it. So you keep looking for the people who see the value, right?
True. True.
that's right. Absolutely.
Mhm.
And that's how you do in relationships. You look for the one who sees the value in what they have.
Yeah.
And if that person is not the person you're with, it's okay to be like, this is not it. And keep searching for that piece of you that make you're already complete, but you keep looking until that you find that person, right?
Yep, yep. It's really, really, when you get yourself together, you become a magnet. When you really feel good about yourself, you become a magnet. Then you be making all the choices. You be like, not you. Not you.
Not you in a relationship, not you as a client, not
Business,
you as
yep. You will know what you want. You can feel it, like that intuition. Like you'll start trusting your intuition. Like that's what the 5A's teaches you, how to trust your intuition so much. So you got to get the 5A formula to reclaim your life.
yes.
Yeah.
It's changed my life.
I love it. I love it. This is a good conversation. And I think people just need to be reminded, sometimes we make things harder than they are. We our mind takes it to a place that it hadn't even gotten to yet. And so we just have to be reminded. One of the ladies on the show, she's like, be wherever your feet are, you know,
Yeah.
stay in the present. So
Yeah.
yeah.
For sure. Stay in
You
the
know what I
present.
love about my wife?
What's that?
We laugh a lot. We laugh a lot. We keep each other laughing a lot, and that's so important. We always have been,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. You
Always
make me
have
laugh
been.
all the time.
We laugh a lot, no matter what it's about. Certain things, we enjoy one another.
Mhm.
But go ahead.
Oh no, I was just agreeing with you. That's good,
Yeah.
laughing because again, a lot of times we take things too serious. And if we can laugh about it, just be like, so what if they come and they, putting us out and they,
Mhm.
still it lightens the load. You're like, we still gonna be together. We just gonna have our bags, you know what I'm saying? So it adds
Yeah,
that
yeah.
it
Yeah.
still brings you to a place of peace. Okay,
Mhm.
Yeah.
we still
You're
gonna
right.
be together and it's gonna work out some kind of way, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So, in just a minute, we're going to go to a quick commercial. Uh, you guys know that so being on social media sometimes it can be pretty wild. There's all types of uh, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Clubhouse, all kinds of stuff going on. So, sometimes, as a business owner or, a coach or whatever you are, you're trying to market yourself, but it's just, it gets overwhelming. And so
Mm-hmm.
there is a product that can help you. You can, post to one site and it helps you post to everything else. And so we're going to have a commercial real quick. And when we come back, Miss Janet and Mr. David, we just kind of want you to, again, Janet, tell them how they can find your book and um, one last word of encouragement or piece of advice. Um, but let me ask a question. This is something that kind of gets kind of tricky. But the word submission, like in a marriage, people get so upset with that word. I'm not submitting. Da, 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 da. What does that word mean to you? How would you define it? If somebody's like, well, I'm not going to submit to him and I'm not going to submit to her, what would you say about that? We'll start, Mr. David.
uh, well, the word comes from the biblical. Women submit yourself to men or whatever. Uh, my relationship with my wife is we both submitted to one another on equal terms.
There you go.
I'm gonna let her be a woman, and she's gonna let me be a man. But we're gonna work together, and we're gonna do things equally.
There you go.
That's me.
And Miss Janet, your response to that question?
Um, Actually, I know that David is the man of our home. He's the man of our home, and I give him that respect. I don't take that away from him in no shape or form. I don't take that away from him. I know that as being a man, I know that's very important to a man to be the man of the home, no matter what. And I respect him enough to give him that. However, we have respect for one another. I respect him in that position, and he respects me in my position. I have a position in our marriage, in our home as well. And he
Right.
gives me my respect. And I just feel like once you respect one another, there's nothing about you got to do this, you got to do that, da 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 da. And I can have things that a woman, that they say a woman is required to do. What if that's my weakness? What if I have a weakness in a certain area? What if that's his
Right.
strength? Or what if a man's area, what they classify that a man is supposed to do as the husband in the home, what if that is a weakness for him, but yet that's a strength for me?
Mhm.
So we build together to make one another strong. I lift him up, he lift me up. I scratch your back, you scratch my back. I make you feel good, you make me feel good. And it's just all respect. And that's just how I feel about that. Never gonna take my husband's position in being a man.
Right.
But she do use a screwdriver better than me. So I give it that. You know,
Right.
she not
And I
taking.
was
She knows she better than me with a screwdriver. So
I love it. And that's really what it's about. We're both going to work together, right? We're,
Yeah.
we're
yeah.
going to both be, respectful and honor one another. Just because, like, sometimes, there are women that I know. I mean, I love to ride a riding lawnmower and cut some grass. I don't really
Mhm.
like to push that much, but, I like to do that. So,
Mhm.
sometimes you be like, she out there doing the grass. He ought to be, you don't
No.
leading people's marriage along. You don't know what kind of agreement they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for an
So,
example, I cook. I cook almost every day. My husband washed the dishes. We haven't, you know what? Actually, we didn't even create the agreement. It just happened because he knows that that's a lot of work for me to do. Cook and wash the dishes and do this. But I wash the dishes, I fix the plates, I do all of that. But he washes the dishes. There's nothing to be said. That's it. That takes pressure off of me, and I appreciate it.
right. So,
We're a team.
teamwork makes the
Yeah.
dream work. So figure out where your team's strengths and weaknesses are, and fill in and so just support one another. Even if it's something you got to learn, support one another through that. Speak to one another respectfully. But constantly communicate. And so it's so many good things in this video. So let's show this commercial real quick, and then we'll come back and let you guys give your last words of encouragement, and uh, then we're gonna share this video.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Social media management for businesses has become more important than ever. Scale your business on social media with an all-in-one platform. The system we are offering provides in-depth analytics, unlimited social profiles, copyright-free images, and much more. You can respond to all messages across platforms through one system. Weekly schedules of content can be created to automate your social media. Active Insights provides best recommendations based on post type and most engaging window of time to post. Social media management just got easier.
Social media management just got easier. So this is a tip for the entrepreneur. If you need some help with social media management so you can still market your business, get yourself out there, whether you're a coach, you have a business, you have a service or a product, check out thenewyou.com. And so we have been talking to Miss Janet Marie and Mr. David Hefney, talking about love, relationships, respect for one another. Is love worth it? And so, they've given me some hope today. And
Wonderful.
so I definitely want you guys to, give your last words of encouragement. And Janet, again, tell them how they can follow you and get your book when it comes out.
Yeah, the 5A formula to reclaim your life. It's going to be released March 10th and you can get it on Amazon. And you can also reach me at alljanetmarie.com.
Yes.
Follow me on Facebook.
Because she
Yes.
does a lot of things. So all
Yeah.
Janet.
Yes.
And Mr. David, any
The last words I have for encouragement on anything is uh, try to enjoy life more. Stop nitpicking everything. Everything not gonna be perfect. Your life's not gonna be perfect because we live in this perfect world. It's not gonna happen. But the little nitpicking.
right.
See stuff on social media. Somebody living a certain life.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know how those people living. They're just posting up all the good stuff.
Yeah.
What about behind the scene, the bad stuff, what they go through every day? That's why you read about them so much. So many of them getting divorces, you know. But just enjoy your mate.
Yeah.
Listen,
Mm-hmm.
share. Uh,
Don't be selfish.
don't be selfish. It's not all about you,
Yeah.
you know. And just love
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
When you do those things, enjoy life. You know, you're wasting more time nitpicking and not enjoying life than what you enjoy in life.
Mm-hmm.
So free yourself from all that. Enjoy one another. You might not be living in a wherever you want to live, but enjoy where you're at today and tomorrow. You might get there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, but it's gonna take a team effort, and you got to have each other back,
Yeah.
and you got to love each other. You know, embrace that love every day. Don't take it for granted. Just embrace it every day.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Definitely respect one another. Respect goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Respect one another, and what David said, nitpicking, you know, with one another, not doing this right or that right. It's really not that important.
Trying to
I
make
kid you,
everything
is
perfect.
trying to make it perfect. It's not that important. It's
Mhm.
really not. It's not.
Hey, man. Who cares if the toilet tissue comes from the top or the bottom? Do we have some toilet paper, right?
He's right.
You got toilet paper. You know what
Come
I'm saying?
It
on.
ain't that deep.
Yeah.
It's not that deep. That's true.
Let's
Mhm.
think about, do we have the toilet paper? That's the blessing. So
Mhm.
yeah, let's let some of that stuff go because we all have flaws. None of us are
Yeah.
perfect people. Some of
Even
us
if they forgot the toilet paper, go just buy some more.
just
It ain't even that deep. It's not that deep.
Enjoy some of the little things in life. Stop making everything so big. Man. You got to be so successful. Everything got to be this way or
For
that
comparing
way.
yourself to other marriages or other
Yeah.
people, and
mm-hmm.
live your life. Get it right.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love this. We're gonna have a part two.
Okay.
Janet Marie and David, part two.
Thank
Right.
you. We enjoyed it.
Yes, well, thank you guys for sharing with our Making Connections family. I really appreciate all the nuggets. And, I think this has really been some helpful information for people just to know, whew, I can breathe. I don't have to be perfect. We can work this out. Or even somebody who's feeling like this is not going to work. I think we've given them hope today. It's still time. It can still turn around.
Yeah.
It's just up to, the both of you and what kind of work you want to put into it. So I do appreciate both of you spending your time with us today. And guys, we are making connections with Aly. We're here there is no script for real life. Amen. Thank you for all the comments that have been coming in. I didn't bring my glasses, y'all, today, so I wasn't trying to ignore anybody, but I couldn't read them. So thank you guys for commenting. Make sure you share and like this video. And, follow us on Facebook, Making Connections with Aly. We're here every Saturday at 12 noon and every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's like they say sometimes in business, if you make some things happen for other people, then they'll make things happen for you. when you support your community, then your community will support you. So it's all about how you show up, what kind of energy you bring, and how confident you are in who you are and who God made you to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
So get the book. It's out in March 10th. So start checking Amazon, and I think she might even you're gonna have a book release. So y'all make sure you follow her so you'll know
Yeah.
when all this happens. So again, we appreciate you. We are making connections with Aly, and as always, we're leaving you with love, positivity, and good vibes. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Hefty family.
Thanks.